The primary force that is pushing you towards marriage, is it yearning from within yourself or is it outside pressure? The answer to this question will determine whether you should settle to get married to somebody who might not be ideal, or if you should avoid taking the leap. If you reflect and find that you are wanting to marry because of an inner yearning within yourself, aside from the outside pressures, in this case, psychologically, it's better to go ahead and take the leap towards marriage. Of course, barring any cases in which there are gigantic red flags. I don't think this is the popular view nowadays, so let me explain. So if you're feeling that inner urge, that yearning to get married, and you're kind of suppressing it, Jungian psychology views that as the classic battle between the ego and the self. To refresh your memory, your ego is your conscious awareness, and your self is the true center, the nucleus of your psyche, which encompasses your ego and your unconscious, meaning your entire psyche. Carl Jung discovered this inner self of an individual, and he called it the great man or woman within, because the self displays insight and foresight that the ego has no clue of often. And the goal of the ego is to relate properly to the self. Often the ego ends up burying the self, which causes a neurosis. The self wants you to grow, but here's the kicker. Growth involves discomfort, humility, and confrontation. So that yearning likely means that maybe it's a season of your life where you're supposed to go through some growth by going through marriage. Let me give you a metaphor. Your yearning to get married is like a seed placed in your hand. All you need to do is make sure that you are in the right season of your life to plant that seed. You must not wait for the day which will have the absolute perfect conditions. You just plant it in the season. Now, I want you to notice something in this metaphor. Planting a seed is work. It's much easier not to plant it and just sit there. But we obviously know what happens when you don't plant a seed. There's no growth. Don't expect the process to be easy. The fruits of your work will come much later on. And maybe this is controversial, but even if you get married and then you find that that wasn't the right match and it falls apart, that still does not mean that you made the wrong decision. You still planted a seed and there was growth if you approach the marriage in the right way. Think about it like this. Marriage is not the cure for your loneliness or weaknesses. It is the arena in which your loneliness and weakness is brought into the light so it can be transformed.